It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in as we now get very serious. Of course, this Sunday, the 12th of August, is World Elephant Day, and at a rate of, and I'm struggling to actually get this out, 96 African elephants killed every day for the ivory trade. This might soon become a day of mourning. So we're very privileged this morning to have with us all the way from Kenya, one of the world's leaders in elephant conservation, Dr. Paula Kahumbu. She is also the CEO of WildlifeDirecy, one of the continent's most prolific organizations that are hopefully going to turn this around. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Dr. Paula, those are some scary statistics, and I mean, I have a fascination with elephants after reading a book about them, but where did it all start for you?
Well, I think just like everybody here, we are so privileged in Africa to have these extraordinary animals, the world's largest living mammals.
The matriarch of the wild.
Yeah, exactly. And we take it for granted that they are doing really well. I didn't meet elephants until I was already in my early 20s. And I was thinking about my master's degree research. I went into the field and I worked with two extraordinary Kenyan women who know every single elephant in the ecosystem of Amboseli. That's 1,500 elephants. They know them by name. Wow. And they can look at them on the horizon and they know exactly who's who. And just learning about those elephants, not as statistics, not as just giant grey blobs wandering about on the savannas. These are animals with personalities, with intelligence, with compassion for each other, which have extraordinary knowledge and incredibly diverse relationships with each other, incredible intelligence. I mean, you can't help but fall in love with them and be changed forever. And that's really what happened to me.
It's heartbreaking to think that, and I don't know if this is exactly correct, but that we are seeing an elephant poached every 15 minutes for their ivory. There is so much talk in the current conversation around conservation. Where do we even begin? How do we shift the culture to start addressing this? What is your focus on?
I mean, look, we're facing a global challenge for all animals on this planet. Over 80% of our species are at risk or gone. Elephants are threatened because of the demand for ivory in markets around the world, primarily in China, but also in America, in Europe, Australia, and many other parts of the world. The challenge is something that we as Africans have to really take responsibility for. And I don't mean blame, I mean we really need to take charge, and that's what my organization, WildlifeDirecy, does. We launched a campaign in Kenya called Hands Off Our Elephants. We said they're our elephants, we're going to defend them, and anybody who threatens them is a target for us. And we do this through our courts. So we took advantage of our legal system to track every single trafficker of ivory and have them investigated, prosecuted, put behind bars for a long period of time. So we really want to deter the criminals. But of course, the problem is not just in Kenya. We were able to reduce poaching by 90%. Sure. But that's just one country, right? Poaching has, blown elephants away across other parts of Africa. Tanzania has lost over 70% of their elephants. Kruger is now losing elephants. Mozambique and even Botswana are now losing elephants. And it's all because people half a world away want to wear trinkets. They want to have little bits of ivory because it's fashionable, because it's considered to be good luck. So we do have to work on all these angles. One is enforcement here in Africa. We have to do that as Africans. We've got to take responsibility. We've got to work across nations on that law enforcement. But we also have to go to the markets, to China, to Japan, to Indonesia, Malaysia, Cambodia, Laos, Malaysia, all these countries where most of the ivory is going. And we've got to change people's attitudes. I think when you see an elephant, when you fall in love with elephants, there is no way.
Yeah, when you understand the emotional intelligence.
Well, how can you wear something that you know has come from the brutal slaughter of an animal that is just as intelligent as us, whose mysteries we haven't yet even uncovered?
Sure. Well, Dr. Paula, sitting here, hearing what you're saying, it makes me feel frustrated that we're not doing enough. But how can the average South African get involved and, make an impact?
So there's something that everybody everywhere in the world can do, but I think especially here in Africa, we have a huge opportunity. WildlifeDirecy partners with Amarula through the Amarula Trust, which is an organization that is helping us to take what we've achieved in Kenya and elevate it onto a global platform. So we're sending this message all over the world. And next weekend is World Elephant Day. It's a United Nations event. And we are going to celebrate it here in South Africa, as well as in Brazil and Canada and other parts of the world, by building a life-sized sculpture of an elephant out of ice.
Sure.
And we're going to let it melt in the sun, and people can come and see this for themselves and really experience this idea that these animals are disappearing. And our slogan is, don't let them disappear. So we're inviting people to come for that. And of course, many people will not be able to go to Johannesburg or Sao Paulo or Toronto. But anybody anywhere in the world can follow us on social media, the Amarula or Wildlife Direct, and share our messages, share our hashtags, don't let them disappear, and World Elephant Day, and just to create that global awareness. Because really, when we reach all those people who are buying the ivory and we persuade them to stop buying ivory, there will be no market.
There's no demand.
There'll be no profit for these criminal cartels who are slaughtering these animals across the continent. And that's when we will have won. So we really have to amplify the message, win hearts and minds across the world. And as Africans, I think we are best placed to do that.
I think you've got two advocates right here. Thank you so much for all of the efforts. Congratulations on all of the milestones that you have achieved on the positive side of that. But we are behind you 100%. And I think everybody in this country needs to do exactly what's happened in Kenya. Take responsibility. They are one of our most precious resources.